Yes, I know I'm later than usual with this review, but I had a really busy weekend where, amongst other things, I picked up this. Thin Ice. So I'm gonna say up front, I really thought this was gonna be the Ice Warriors episode, just based off title, and I had gone out of my way to avoid watching any of the preview stuff to get more of a sense of it, so pleasantly surprised to have that not be the case. Overall thoughts on the episode? I like it. It's pretty good. It's not exactly what I was asking for. Ahead of this episode, my big thing was like, can we get something with a more intricate plot? You know, because we've had a couple in a row that were fairly basic plots, focus on the dynamic of Bill and the Doctor more. Whew. Sorry about that. So, what we got here was, again, a pretty straightforward plot. Yet, oddly, that didn't annoy me. I would have thought that it would have done, but it didn't. I think part of that has to do with just how much I really am enjoying the dynamic between the Doctor and Bill, which is wonderful for me, because I was so certain I wasn't gonna like Bill. I didn't like any of the early preview stuff that we saw her in, so I'm digging the heck out of their dynamic. I like this sort of tutor kind of role he takes with her, where he, you know, they have their banter and they have their back and forth, but he takes these teaching moments, for lack of a better term. Like the whole sort of, you know, I'm doing this on your command. I'm sure there are people out there who have been like, the Doctor doesn't always listen to the commands like that. Was like, no, but he's teaching her. He's pushing her to get her to learn things, to get her to broaden her experience, to get her to take command. And I'm liking this dynamic. I'm liking that he's with somebody who he's pushing deliberately. I mean, we had Clara for so long, and, you know, she was a mystery to him for a while, and she kept pushing him. And it's not that I'm against somebody sort of pushing the Doctor in a direction, but it's nice to see that, you know, back to him really wanting to push her into new experiences and to new perspectives and new ideas. And that's what I'm getting from this relationship between them, and I like it a lot. Now, as far as the plot of this thing goes, it bears more than a passing resemblance to The Beast Below. So again, that should bug me. Oddly, it doesn't. I think the change in setting does a lot to sort of take the curse off reusing the basic plot of giant, you know, trapped creature being used for something that it doesn't want to be part of. So I think the setting is nice, which again surprises me, because a lot of the past Earth setting ones I don't care for. Some of them I don't really like at all, but that worked for me. And you know, the suddenness of that boy. The boy died. That kind of caught me off guard, and I like that it wasn't done casually, and that the proper weight of the impact of that, especially on Bill, was given, and like it really kind of snapped her out of this. And again, I'm just liking how she's taking all this in, that she's asking the questions that somebody like me, or the kinds of people who tend to watch this show, would ask. You know, is it okay for me to touch stuff? Is this gonna screw everything up? And the way the Doctor sort of messes with her a little and plays off that. I like that the villain is just a human, which again, paralleling The Beast Below, maybe I should have called that, because that was the case there too. But I like that it's just, no, humans can be awful. And it's not even a case of like, he's a human working for the aliens. No, on his own, completely left to his own devices, this is a horrible human being. That happens. So I like that. It was a not so subtle dig, you know, at sort of capitalism and, you know, industry, and I am a job creator. Didn't use those terms, but they might as well have, and so therefore my life counts for more. And it wasn't subtle, but it works, and it works with sort of the driving philosophy of the Doctor as a person, and Doctor Who as a show. So that all worked for me. I really am hoping we can get Nardole, you know, back into things now that he has apparently lost the coin toss, because I'm missing him a little bit. I've gotten, you know, definitely 2 solid episodes that's just Bill and the Doctor, and I dig that dynamic now. Can we get Nardole integrated in so I can see how all 3 of them are going to be together? That would be nice. That's sort of my big hope for the next episode. And you know, we got a little bit of the vault. There was a knock from the inside, so obviously whatever's in there is sentient, it is alive, so it's not just a piece of equipment or something else. I don't think that's a huge shock. I think most folks would have figured it was a person or being of some kind. The very obvious thing for it to be would be the Master, John Sim Master in particular, because I mean the knocking that ties back to the Master and his appearance as the Master specifically. That almost seems too obvious, and I'm kind of inclined to say that's not going to be the case. If it does turn out being the case, though, I'm going to be annoyed that we already knew Johnson was coming back. Because if that is him behind that vault, and if he had just shown up, that would have been a... But... so I don't, again, I hope not, because it's too obvious. Whatever's behind that vault, I would like to be surprised by. I'm not sure if there is too much more to say. There was just a lot of nice little moments that I enjoyed. You know, a lot of lines that I liked, a lot of bits of banter I enjoyed, a lot of just moments for the Doctor, moments for Bill. I could go through them systematically, but really, this was a fun episode, and I enjoyed it a lot. It wasn't phenomenal. Like I said, the plot is really basic. The focus is really still on the characters, but right now, the characters are working so well, that's not a bad thing. If we don't start getting some more involved, more intricate, unusual, or surprising plots, it might become a bad thing, but so far, for me at least, it's holding up pretty well, just focusing on the Doctor and Bill and how they work as a team. And like I said, just a lot of little moments, little things. I had a lot of points where I was smiling. I had a lot of points where I basically went, and just, it's a very enjoyable episode. I think enjoyable is the best possible term. Not necessarily in a disposable way, but not in a way that really demands a ton of discussion. So I have a feeling this is probably going to run a little bit shorter than my reviews have of late, because the stuff that has been working is still working and working really well, and I'm still enjoying it. So we'll see where things go from here. Like I said, I'd like to see Nardole get reintegrated into the group. I think we'll probably get that now that, you know, he lost the coin toss. And I like that whole thing where the Doctor just wants to know how this con man did this trick coin flip. That just feels very much him. It's like, ooh, it's a chance for me to learn something new. That doesn't happen often, and that he got excited by that. I mean, that's just cool. So, I mean, that's kind of a hope for me. Like I said, I do want the stories to start getting a little bit more intricate, a little more twisty or surprising. I'd like that to happen soon. I'm not, given how much I enjoyed this episode, I'm not going to say I need it to happen next episode. If they want to bum around for one more go, and if the dynamic can be as fun as this is, you know what? I'll be good for that for one more time. But I guess that's about it for my thoughts on Thin Ice. Have you seen it? Hope so. Did I talk spoilers? I don't know. Like I said, it wasn't like a, ooh, get into the plot kind of story. Maybe I didn't say much in the way of spoilers. In any case, did you see it? What were your thoughts on it? Whatever they were, drop something down in the comments and let's talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, check me out on Twitter at Council of Geeks. Give a listen to the Council of the Geeks podcast, as well as the Punch Like a Girl podcast. Available 2 different podcast feeds on both iTunes and Stitcher. And until next time, this council is adjourned.